Alright, let's talk about something that's been buzzing for years. Cryptocurrency. You've probably heard of Bitcoin, maybe even Dogecoin, but what is it really? Think of it like digital money, but with a twist. Unlike the dollars in your bank account, which a central bank controls, crypto is decentralized. No single company government person is in charge. It's run by a network of computers all over the world. This is a huge deal because it puts the power back into the hands of regular people like you and me. No more worrying about a bank freezing your account, a government printing more money and making your savings worth less. It's a financial system built for the internet age. So how does this all work without a bank to keep track of everything? That's where blockchain comes in. Imagine a digital notebook that's shared with thousands of people. Every time someone sends crypto, every time someone receives crypto, a new entry or block is added to this notebook. But here's the clever part. This new block is linked to the one before it, creating a chain. Once a block is added, it's almost impossible to change or delete it without everyone on the network noticing. It's like trying to secretly rip a page out of thousands of notebooks at the exact same time. This makes the entire system incredibly secure and transparent. Everyone can see the transactions, but the identities are kept private. This brings us to the most important word in crypto: consensus. In the traditional financial world, we trust banks and governments to verify transactions. If you send $100 to a friend, you trust your bank to make sure the money leaves your account and arrives in theirs. In crypto, there's no bank. So, who verifies the transaction? The network does. Consensus is just a fancy word for agreement. For a transaction to be approved, a majority of the computers on the network must agree that it's valid. This prevents anyone from spending the same digital coin twice or creating fake money out of thin air. It's a system of trust built on math and code, not on a single institution. So, let's get into the first project, and it's one that's been getting a ton of attention: Pi Network. What if you could get into cryptocurrency without needing a supercomputer or a PhD in computer science? That's the core idea behind Pi. Historically, mining crypto, the process of verifying transactions and creating new coins, required powerful, expensive hardware that used a massive amount of electricity. This basically locked out the average person. You either had to invest thousands of dollars in a mining rig, or you were left on the sidelines. Pi Network decided to flip that script completely. Their goal is to make crypto accessible to everyone, everywhere, using the one device we all have in our pockets: a smartphone. The magic behind Pi is its unique approach to consensus, which they call the Stellar Consensus Protocol. Don't worry, you don't need to understand the complex name. Now, let's switch gears to another powerhouse project, but one that solves a completely different problem: Chainlink. Blockchains are amazing, but they have one major limitation: they're like isolated islands. They can manage their own internal data perfectly, but they have no way of knowing what's happening in the real world. A smart contract, which is a self-executing contract with the terms written into code, can't check the weather, the price of a stock, or the score of a football game on its own. This is a huge problem. What good is a contract if it can't interact with the real-world events it's based on? This is where Chainlink comes in. Think of Chainlink as a secure bridge connecting the isolated blockchain world to the vast ocean of real-world data. It's what's known as a decentralized oracle network. An oracle here isn't a fortune teller, it's a service that finds and verifies real-world information and brings it onto the blockchain. For example, a crop insurance contract that pays if temperature drops below freezing needs a reliable way to know the actual temperature. It can't just Google it, it needs a trusted source. Chainlink doesn't rely on a single source of data. That would be a single point of failure. What if that source was wrong or got hacked? Instead, Chainlink uses a network of independent oracle nodes. The smart contract asks Chainlink for the temperature. Chainlink fetches data from multiple independent weather providers. It collects all the answers, filters out outliers, and delivers a single validated answer to the contract. Now the contract can execute with confidence. The data is accurate and tamper-proof. This lets blockchains do far more than send money. With Chainlink, you can create smart contracts for almost anything. Decentralized sports betting that automatically pays out based on final scores reported by many sites. A supply chain system that tracks a shipment and releases payment only when GPS confirms arrival, stablecoins pegged to real-world assets, with reserves constantly verified by Chainlink oracles. So how does Pi Network achieve this global consensus? Well, it takes a very different path from traditional cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Instead of asking computers to do all the work, Pi puts its trust in people. The consensus mechanism used by Pi is built around the idea of social trust. It relies on its users to create what it calls security circles. These are small groups, typically 3 to 5 people. You personally know and trust them. By adding them to your circle, you're essentially vouching for them. You're saying, I believe this person is a real human and not a bot. This creates a global web of trust. Let's use a simple, real-life example. Imagine you're in a large community meeting where a vote is being taken. Instead of everyone shouting at once, you first form small groups with your neighbors. You form groups with people you know and trust. Each small group quickly agrees on the vote. Then these groups report their collective decision to the larger assembly. Because the decisions come from established, trusted circles, the community reaches agreement faster and more efficiently. This method has a couple of huge advantages. First, it's incredibly energy efficient. It doesn't require massive computational power, so it can run on a smartphone without draining the battery. This makes mobile mining possible and opens crypto participation to billions who lack expensive hardware. It democratizes securing a blockchain network. You don't need money to participate, you just need to be a trusted member of the community. Second, it's designed to be resistant to fake accounts and bots. In many systems, someone could create thousands of fake accounts to gain undue influence. In Pi, because you must be invited into security circles by real people, it's much harder for bots to infiltrate. Chainlink approaches consensus from a completely different angle. Its focus isn't on verifying transactions between users on its own blockchain, but on achieving consensus about real-world data. The problem it solves is, how can a smart contract trust outside-world data? A smart contract can't just rely on a single website for data. That website could be wrong, get hacked, or simply go offline. To solve this, Chainlink creates a consensus mechanism for data itself, ensuring the information is reliable, accurate, tamper-proof. Here's a practical example to make this clear. Imagine a decentralized insurance platform that offers flight delay insurance. You buy a policy that says, if my flight from New York to Los Angeles is delayed by more than 3 hours, pay me $200. The smart contract needs to know if the flight was actually delayed. It can't just trust one source. So, it uses Chainlink. The Chainlink network would query, say, 15 different independent flight tracking data sources. Maybe 13 of them report the flight was delayed by 3 hours and 15 minutes. One reports it was delayed by 3 hours and 10 minutes and one is offline. The Chainlink nodes, the computers running the Chainlink software, would then come to a consensus. They would see the overwhelming majority confirm a delay of over 3 hours. They would discard the outlier, discard the offline source, and deliver a single, validated answer to the insurance smart contract. Yes, the flight was delayed. The smart contract can now execute with confidence, automatically send the $200 payout to your crypto wallet. You get paid instantly without having to file any paperwork or argue with an insurance company. The trust is in the decentralized data, not in a corporation. This consensus on data is built on a system of reputation and incentives. Oracle nodes that consistently provide accurate data build a strong reputation and are rewarded with Chainlink's native token, Link. Nodes that provide bad data or are unreliable lose their staked Link tokens and their reputation suffers, so they receive fewer requests in the future. This creates a powerful economic incentive for nodes to be honest and reliable. When you put Pi Network and Chainlink side by side, it might seem like they have nothing in common. One is a currency built on social mining from your phone. The other is a complex data oracle network for smart contracts. But look deeper. Both tackle the same challenge: building trust, decentralized. They just take very different roads. Their goal: make blockchain more accessible, more reliable, more useful. That requires a solid foundation of trust. Pi builds trust from the bottom up, through its community. Core belief: lasting value comes when millions secure it. Millions of users actively participating to secure the network. Consensus via security circles. Trust through human relationships. Chainlink builds trust via data verification and via economic incentives. Blockchains need to trust real-world data. Independent nodes vouch for information accuracy. Aggregate data from multiple sources. Filter out the noise, not competitors. Two essential pillars: a large, engaged user base. A reliable bridge to the outside world. Alright, this is all interesting, but what does it actually mean for you, the regular person? How do these projects translate into real-life benefits? Let's break it down. The main goal of both Pi Network and Chainlink is to make digital transactions and agreements faster, fairer, more secure than what we have today. They aim to cut out the expensive and slow middlemen, banks, insurance companies, lawyers, and replace them with efficient, automated code that runs on the blockchain. This has the potential to save you time money. Looking ahead to what's next, it's clear that both Pi Network and Chainlink are positioned to play crucial roles. They are not just speculative assets, they are functional projects building fundamental layers of a new digital world. The journey is far from over, but the paths they are forging point toward a more decentralized, transparent, and efficient future. For regular users, this isn't just about technology, it's about a fundamental shift in how we interact with money, data, and each other. For Pi Network, the next major milestone is the full launch of its open mainnet. As of today, August 21, 2025, the network is still in a more enclosed phase, allowing users to build a community and pass identity verification, but not yet trade Pi on external exchanges. The transition to an open mainnet will be the moment of truth. It will allow Pi to connect to other blockchains and for Pi coins to be bought, sold, and used in the broader crypto economy. For Chainlink, the future is about expansion and becoming the undisputed industry standard for decentralized data. Chainlink is already the dominant player, but what's next is moving beyond finance, gaming, supply chain, insurance, and even connecting with Internet of Things devices. Imagine your smart fridge automatically ordering milk when a sensor, verified by Chainlink, says you're running low. The potential applications are nearly limitless. Chainlink's goal is to become the secure data backbone for the entire Web3 economy. In the end, the impact of projects like Pi Network and Chainlink could be profound. Pi could onboard the next billion users into crypto by making it as easy as using a social media app. Chainlink could provide the trusted data layer that makes smart contracts a reliable and mainstream tool for business and daily life. Together, they represent a powerful combination. Pi brings the people, and Chainlink brings the data. As these technologies mature, we may find ourselves living in a world where our financial transactions are more direct, our agreements are more automated, and our trust is placed not in fallible institutions, but in transparent, community-driven code. The future of crypto is being built today, and it's more accessible than ever.